welcome back to a new video. Today I'm going to be talking about this doesn't make sense. Today I'm going to be filming Friday reviews and talking about the films that I watched over the last couple of weeks, because I didn't film a Friday reviews last week because I didn't film any videos last week. I didn't film one the week before because, let me think, that was again during that time where I had a lot going on over maybe a week and a half, so that also meant I didn't get to watch all the main movies yet, because I was going to kind of watch them all towards the end of May or the very beginning of June, and that just didn't happen. But I have got today 4 of the main movies that I'm going to be talking about. So first of all, I watched Hacksaw Ridge, which was absolutely fantastic. Completely blew me away. Definitely I'll be watching this one again. It's probably one of my favourite war films. I do have a couple of others that I enjoy, but this one I just thought was fantastic. If you haven't seen it, I completely recommend it. And even if you're not really into war movies, or it's not kind of something that sounds like it would appeal to you, I think this one's still brilliant. I liked the setup of the film. I thought, this is different. It's not just kind of going into what I thought it would, but that also meant I could get to really know the character well, and I really felt for the character, and I really wanted him to stand up for what he believed in, so I was just really into it when we got to the war part, which is kind of in the, I don't know, probably the second half of the film. And then when the war scenes, did come about in this film, they were amazing. Some of the best war scenes I've watched, because I was completely on the edge of my seat. I sometimes was almost holding my breath. There was this one certain part and I just couldn't even, I was like, oh, I couldn't move. It was just very intense and brilliant. Obviously this is based on a true story, and the true story itself is just incredible. And as it kept going on and on, I was thinking, oh my gosh, this is just, it was just crazy, but it was brilliant. And I definitely recommend this one. Of course, I gave it 5 stars. It was fantastic. Everything that everyone had been saying about it, this completely lived up to that. It was brilliant. I'm so glad that I own this. I can't wait to watch it again. I definitely will watch this one again, and I would really recommend it. So yeah, definitely check out Hacksaw Ridge, but I'm sure you've probably all heard of it by now. When Andrew Garfield was brilliant, and I really like him. Okay, so the next film I have, which was also a May release, is Jackie with Natalie Portman. This is an interesting one. I thought this was a very good film. I thought it was filmed very well, very interesting. I liked the way the story was told. I thought Natalie Portman was brilliant. I really liked Natalie Portman. But I do feel like it's not really a film that I would maybe rewatch. So it's kind of weird. Obviously I picked it up on Blu-ray, picked it up when it came out, but I don't know if I'd rewatch this one. However, I've always been really interested in the whole JFK, assassination of JFK and what went on there, and I've watched quite a few films surrounding that. For example, I watched Parkland, which I loved. I think it's fantastic. I've watched something else. I've also been watching 11/22/63, which is kind of around that, but in a bit more of a fantastical way. But this one felt very real and raw, and I did think that it was interesting. I liked that we were from Jackie Kennedy's point of view. I liked that some of it was very kind of shocking and raw, and then some of it was kind of just, it waved along. It was, how long is this film? It felt like, it's nearly 99 minutes, it felt very long. But it's basically just, her for the few days after the whole situation, and it was interesting. And I give it 4 stars, but I don't know, it's a difficult one. I do enjoy true story movies, and I do enjoy films around this topic, but this one for me, it was more of, it felt like a documentary almost in a way, and it's kind of an interesting documentary, but it's not something you'd be like, oh, I really want to watch that again. It's kind of got that feel. I don't know if that really makes sense, but that's how I felt about Jackie. But I'm still really glad that I watched it. But again, I don't know if I'd watch it again. I don't know, unless in the future for some reason I was watching a bunch of things about JFK, maybe I'd watch this one again. I think maybe on educational purposes, if you are looking into that whole time situation, this is an interesting one, because obviously it's from her point of view, whereas all the others are kind of surrounding that day and what happened and who did it and all that other stuff. This shows a different side to it. So there is that. So yeah, that's Jackie, which like I give 4 stars. I still thought, I mean, I thought it was a very well done movie. It was fantastic, but I still found myself not enjoying. That's not really the right word, but I still found myself pleased to watch it. I don't know what to say. Like, you know, I didn't want to stop it and do something else. I was engaged throughout. That's the best way to say it. The next one that I watched here was again a May one. And the reason that I watched this is because we were looking at the May movies that we hadn't yet watched. And there was some I almost thought, I really don't know if I don't know if I regret picking that up. And I had some of those kind of thoughts. And this was one of them. I almost thought maybe I regret picking this up. I haven't heard good reviews about it, you know, etc, etc. However, the runtime is, let me just check, 96 minutes. And it was the shortest film of the ones I hadn't watched. So we were like, right, we're going to go with the one with the shortest runtime. This was it. And it was Quatro Beauty. Now, initially, I bought this for the cast. It's got a fantastic cast. We've got Will Smith, Edward Norton, Keira Knightley, Michelle, I don't want to butcher her last name, but I know who we mean, Kate Winslet, Helen Mirren, and there were some other people in here too. Brilliant cast. And I really like Will Smith as well. I particularly like some of his 2000s-y films, like The Pursuit of Happiness, £7, you know, I Am Legend. Going back to those days, I loved Will Smith. And then some more funny ones like Hitch and Hancock, I loved those as well. Anyway, Quatro Beauty, it looked like a drama, it had Will Smith in it, I loved the cast, and that's why I picked it up. And then I thought, am I going to regret this? And I absolutely didn't. This is why I enjoy Monday Movie Hunting so much. I mean, I pick up movies sometimes on a bit of a whim on the day they come out, which I feel like sometimes is a bit of a risk. It's not the biggest risk in the world, but you know, it's a bit of a risk. And then I think, should I have done that? And then the reason why I always feel like, yes, I should have, because the films that I'm always a bit unsure of always seem to blow me out of the water, and I always feel surprised. And when I look back at the end of the year, films that I wouldn't typically have picked up had I been more selective are usually the ones that are my favourites. So it's kind of interesting that way. This one was brilliant. Essentially, it's about this guy who, he runs a big business, he's very successful, you know, he seems pretty happy with life, and then he loses his 6-year-old daughter. And obviously this has a massive impact on his life, as we can all imagine that it would, and it's something that you can't even imagine how he would, you know, I don't know. And then it, you know, tells us that, and then it shows us 2 years later, and that's kind of where the film picks off. And basically, you know, obviously he's very isolated himself, he's really isolated himself and very withdrawn. The co-workers are worried about him, and underneath that, not only are they worried about him and they've tried to help him over the 2 years, they're now worried about the company and the future of their own jobs, basically, which kind of at some points felt selfish. And at some point I was almost like, I don't know how I feel about that. But then at the end of the day, it's a difficult one, because you could then see the side characters I felt like you got to know as well, and you could kind of see it from their point of view, but it was a difficult thing to get your head around. And then there was a moment in the film when I was like, okay, yeah, okay, fair enough, and I was able to carry on with that. I don't know if this is making sense, but I feel like for me, this film, I felt like I watched it just at the right time. It was one of those right place, right time type of films. Had I watched it maybe 2 weeks earlier than I did, I don't know if I would have got as much from it, because it was just very interesting and insightful. Basically, the main story, I guess, is he writes 3 letters, one to love, one to death, and one to time, and it's kind of about those 3 things within our lives, and it's just really, it was just interesting. I give 5 stars. I really thought this was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. I know that not many other people do, and I'm kind of on my own here with this one, but I definitely will watch it again. But I'm kind of interested whether I watch it again, whether it will have the exact same impact, because like I say, it was one of those right time, right moment type of things, with just the message that the film had and kind of some insight into those 3 things. And I just found it very interesting, and I just really thought it was well done, and I really liked the characters, I really liked the cast. Helen Mirren especially, I loved. I always think she's fantastic anyway. So yeah, Quatro Beauty, if you've kind of been interested in it and you overlooked it, maybe it's worth giving this one an extra look, because I really enjoyed that one. And finally, we have Passengers, which I was really looking forward to. It's a sci-fi movie which basically all these people are heading off to another planet, and they've all been put to kind of put in hibernation, I guess, like put to sleep temporarily, and for 150 years or 130 years, I can't quite remember. And then, you know, they're supposed to wake up 4 months before they get to the planet, and all I knew going into this was something's gone wrong and some people have woken up early. That was what I knew, and that was kind of all I really wanted to know. It was definitely more interesting and dealt with more different morals than I thought. There was a lot of questions that came up in this. I mean, eventually, at the end of the day, it's just kind of a fun sci-fi movie, and it's not like, you know, like Interstellar really thinks about loads of different things. This one's more, you know, fun and relaxed. But I really enjoyed it. I really liked Chris Pratt. I always seem to love him. Jennifer Lawrence was fantastic. And I actually gave this one 4 stars. However, up on the time that's passed since I watched it, it was maybe about 5 days ago I watched this, or 3, I'm not sure. Feels like longer ago. I think I'd give it 4.5 because I really want to watch this again. And I really like the setting of the spaceship. I really like some of the side characters we have. I really enjoyed this. I really liked it visually. I thought it was very interesting. I'm going to give it 4.5. I've changed my rating. I think I enjoyed it more now upon reflection than I thought I did initially. And I really want to watch this one again. It's one of the May ones that I'm probably going to watch again first. You know. So yeah, that's Passengers. I don't want to say too much, but I'm sure you've probably heard of it. It's got a big 2 lead cast members there. So, those are the 4 films that I have watched that I will talk to you about today. Hopefully by next Friday I will have watched a couple more of my May ones. I've got 3 left, and some of my June ones. I do need to really get the ball rolling now and get back on track. But that's what I've watched. Thumbs up if you enjoy these Friday reviews. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, or if you are a newbie. And I will see you then. Goodbye!